Hello, Josie here. You ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. So I just watched a scene from The Mac that I watched quite a few times, and it's cold. It's really cold. Um, but in the scene, I remember two different scenes that I watched from The Mac, and in this one particular scene, he is basically, enjoying a drink with this girl that he used to know or whatever. And she's back in town and she's already been a hoe. She's already been a hoe out there in the world. And he said to her that he saw her being in a different position than she is currently right now. And he's a pimp. He's now a pimp. So she begs him. I remember that scene. The way that she was talking to him and, begging him to be his bottom bitch, basically. Begging him to be his bottom bitch. And that could be a very dangerous position to be in. And she kind of saw, in a way, how cold he could be. She ran up to the car, telling Goldie what happened to her. She's all distraught and crying and, just in a bad state, And he looks at her just like with coldness in his eyes. And he says, "You need to go out there and get me my money. I don't care what happened to you." And the look on her face when she realized that, she was not going to get any sympathy from him, that said a lot. I went, a few years ago, I went and talked to my parent. And God had me to go and do this, and I talked about this partially before, but God had me to go and do this because He wanted me to see firsthand, like up front and close, how cold my father really is. And I saw it many years ago. I saw how cold my father was when I was like 6, 7 years old. And I've seen him be cold throughout the entirety of my life thus far. And God just let me know that that's changed. And the reason why that's changed is because no matter how cold my father was to me, I still bounced back. No matter what my dad, my parent rather, did to me, said about me, set up to happen to me, I bounced back. I came back from it. And just like Goldie told that girl, "You need to get back out there and get me my money." I was basically kicked out into the world without any information, any kind of experience or knowledge, any kind of help. And I have done very well for myself. And even though I've done very well for myself, that parent would still find some way to try to kick me down. So I'd have to run back to him and cry, or run back to him and ask him for help, or go to him and tell him what I've been through. And he already really knows what I've been through because he's the one who set the shit up intentionally for me to fall. So I'd have to go back to him. That's some cold shit. That's some coldness right there. And the reason why he's stopping is because he's being forced to stop. It's not because he wants to stop. He's being forced to stop. And he already realizes that just like each and every time he kicked me when I was doing good, and or he kicked me while I was doing not so good, I've still come back and or bounce back from whatever he has thrown at me, whatever he has done to me. And not only him, but my mother, my sister, my brother, my relatives, neighbors, so-called lovers, friends, co-workers. I've bounced back from all of it. That's a lot of attacks from people. That's a lot of coldness from people. And when the person that has received that kind of coldness unnecessarily from a group of people, and the reason why they've received that coldness is because they know that they themselves, if they were put in the situations that I've been put in, that you've been put in, they would not have come out of it. They would not have bounced back. They would have stayed down. So now you have people that want to keep you down as much as they can because they know you're going to bounce back. And so whatever they can do to keep you down, to suppress you, to keep you from bouncing back, so they can feel that they have been successful when they have not been successful time after time after time after time, that's supposed to make them feel somewhat better about all the losses and or all the failures from their attempts to try to make you fail, to try to make me fail. And it is not. When God has to step in and remove people and stop people and put people through the same crap that they put you and I through so that they can experience firsthand what it feels like to be kicked when you're down and or to be taken all the way down after you've climbed up on your own. And for a lot of these people, they didn't climb up on their own. They climbed up on the backs of other people. And then they subjected other people that they felt were beneath them to their negativity, their toxicity, their manipulation, and their coldness. So now God has to step in, and God had to step in on my behalf on a numerous amounts of times because of these people that would not stop. So this parent in particular that I'm thinking of right now, and he's come to mind in that, after watching that scene again, he's being forced to stop. And I saw a little snippet on YouTube that said, sometimes it's better to be quiet and let God handle your battles or whatever's troubling you or whatever's bothering you. Yes, but then you also need to speak up and you need to let people know that they're not the only ones that have been through it, that are going through it, as well as letting people know that if you have taken things into your own hand and it didn't pan out the way that you expected it to, maybe you should allow God to deal with whatever is ailing or bothering you. For me, it has been him. For me, it has been my mother. For him, it has been my siblings. For me, it has been my relatives. For me, it has been my so-called friends, neighbors, co-workers, so on and so forth. People that I may not have even done anything negative towards except survive and thrive. And they wanted to see me down and out and struggling. And now they have to be down and out and struggling when they were doing okay financially, but morally, they were bankrupt. Spiritually, they were deficit. Mentally, they were screwed, scarred, and damaged. So now, a lot of them have to be screwed, scarred, damaged, spiritually deficit, and morally bankrupt, while also being in poverty, and down and out, and struggling. These are the same people that wanted that same crap from me, but I was none of those negative things that they were. And the sympathy and empathy that I once had for them is now gone. And they want that old thing back. And they can't get it back. Because I listened to God. I followed God's direction. And when things started going downhill for me, I didn't go all the way down. Here. Or here. Or spiritually. Or mentally. Or physically. Or emotionally. And trust and believe I had opportunities where I could have. Just like they had opportunities where they could have stopped. Goldie told that trick, that prostitute, he saw her in a different, going down a different avenue in her life. And he was surprised that she was going down the avenue of being a prostitute and then wanting him to be her pimp. It was hard for him to even process it when she asked him to do that. And because she asked him to do that, and because she presented herself as being a cold bitch, he treated her like that. And that John treated her the way that he treated her because he knew that she was a cold-hearted bitch. Whether it was right or wrong for him to do it, he did it. And she got taken for whatever money she had. She was told to strip, and she got assaulted. What about when the other side gets done that way by the person that's now receiving it? Cuts both ways. Gotta go. Bye.